Okay, let me do my intro. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the In the Ground podcast. This is the first podcast of the In the Ground podcast series. We have our first guest, Goblin Dog, here. Go follow him at
Hey
Tyler
yo.
Gervasi. Oh, fuck you! Give me a lot. We ready? We ready? How you going? How's it going, man?
I'm going good. It's going good. How you doing, Worm? It's good to be in the
I'm
ground
doing.
with you
I'm
today.
in the ground. Yeah, maybe
Should I
that
put
should
my
be.
green screen all the way up so I can really be in the ground? Should I? Hold on. No,
You
this
do
is
it.
too late. Too late for that.
Yeah, it's
We're
going
running
good.
it.
It's doing good. Okay.
Oh, that's
So I don't know. I'm not really a podcast guy. I don't know how
you're
these
not a
go.
podcast guy. You've never like listened to podcasts
I've
before.
listened
Like
to
most of
like
the time, like people like riff. We get into it a little bit.
we get into it a little.
You know, uh, we should get into like how we met.
Well, we add that to the notes.
Let's formulate this podcast together. Podcast one is a
Okay.
protocast,
Yeah,
and
this
then
is.
we're currently structuring how your podcast should
Yeah,
go.
we're
Right?
structuring we're structuring the foundation right now.
The best way to like find a solution to your problems is to just do it. I heard that
It,
fact a couple days ago, and it like blew my mind.
it
Right?
stuck with you.
It stuck in my big, massive Jimmy Neutron head.
Okay, so
Ah!
let's go into how we met. I was scrolling down on Twitch and I saw this big ugly ass motherfucker on
Well, first
Rust.
of all, you were scrolling down in like the hello
The
camera?
zero category.
Hello! The viewers category. Because there's no way I had any viewers. And I
You
still
had
don't
one
have any
viewer.
viewers. To this day, I don't have any viewers. My YouTube content is where
Is
everybody
where
looks.
it's actually crack-lacking. Yeah, so go follow this ugly ass motherfucker on Tyler Gervasi and his YouTube and his Twitch, Goblin Dog.
Yep. Follow me on
Yeah.
all of that. I doxed myself, and I'm gonna keep it that way. Everybody kept looking at me and said that was the wrong move. I said, yeah, you're probably right.
So,
I regret it.
what's your plan with YouTube and Twitch so far?
YouTube and Twitch. So right now, my current plan is to like have a video up every week and stream at least once a week. I want to stream twice a week is my
Yeah.
goal, but balancing a full-time job and content creation has been my downfall.
Yeah, that's
I like
a
to
little
sip on the
crazy.
silly juice sometimes, brother.
Sip on the silly juice.
Sometimes silly juice and editing don't go together very well with me.
Yeah.
I
And
don't
do you
know
want to
if
make
you've
it
ever
full
been
time?
silly. I would love to make it full time. If I could make content every single day of my life, it would be insane.
Don't you think it would be
my
a little?
end goal is a fantasy factory. Like I don't know if you've ever seen Rob Deerdeck, but that motherfucker had a factory full of people and he shot tennis ball cannons at them. Like in my head, that's what I want. Like that's my
what you
dream.
want?
That's like end goal. You know what I mean? That is where I want to be. Like, it's like, where do you see yourself in 5 years from now? It's like I see myself shooting my friends in a fucking factory, and like I'm putting it on YouTube. Like, isn't that not insane?
Yeah, that's kind of that's crazy.
At the end of the day, like as much as like I'm a big nerdy gamer, I'd rather like go out and do things like make films, and
Yeah.
I'd rather branch off. But gaming is like an easy way to do it. I come home, turn on the fucking computer, and act like an absolute buffoon.
Yeah.
We didn't finish how we met. You found me in the zero streaming
Oh
den.
yeah,
And you
yeah.
came
I
and sniped me.
I came and sniped you on Rust, and I built a fucking. I started playing Runaway by Kanye West on the piano. The piano.
Yes, you impressed us, and we fucking captured you. Me and my absolute rapscallion of friends. Like, my friends are awesome. I love them, but they're insane. They're just
They're
like me.
insane.
We're all little goblins. The voices and the worms are in my head.
Yeah.
Oh
Okay.
my god.
This is crazy. So for me, I'd love to make content full time, but it's kind of a struggle with school coming up. I might be a little fucked with the streaming and content.
Yeah, explain more about that. Like, you're going full-time school, yeah?
Yeah,
Like
I have to
big
go
boy
full time school. Yeah, big boy school.
Okay.
I'm a little screwed, but I'd love to make content full time, but I don't think I would have the time to do it. I was
mean-
hoping this summer, but it's starting to end.
So the best way I can give it to you is like set up a schedule, right? Like set like 4 hours aside every day or like 3 hours aside every day and just like work on content for that 3 hours and like
Yeah,
schedule out your whole entire day. Like, all right, well, I have classes. After classes, like, let
get a
me
little wacky on
decompress,
rest.
like, let me. I always like clean or like come home and I like do something in the house. And then after I do that, then I'll go and like do whatever other important shit I have to do, like cook food, fucking
Yeah,
homework.
live.
Like, if you have homework, like,
Yeah,
and then near the end of my night, I schedule 4 hours out every day and I do something during that 4 hours creative. And like it's just 4 hours of free time. And I found that to be like the best thing ever,
yeah,
to be honest with you. Like there's a reason the Goblin Dog videos come out every week now. And they didn't come out every week a while ago.
yeah.
I
Every
put
six
one
months.
video out. Yeah, yeah, every year. I don't know if you saw, but like, if you go back and look, my first video posted is a year ago, and the
Yeah,
one after that is another year later. But um, it's really good. I think it just like helps you work out your creative side of your brain, and it's like it's a muscle, like everything else, right? So like if you don't use it, you lose it.
yeah,
And so, uh, I don't know. And then if we're speaking about YouTube and like just like that kind of shit in general, like my last video kind of popped off and it genuinely
yeah. It
surprised
was
me.
pretty good.
Because I told everybody I hated that video. I still dislike that video. Like to me, that is the worst video that I've ever put out.
The
But
Elden
for
Ring
some,
one.
yeah, yeah,
What?
like yeah. To me, like I don't know. Because there's so much better content within the stream, but it's just not for YouTube. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the shit that we were saying, the diabolical shit that we were saying. Like you can say that shit on Twitch, but on YouTube is like, no, 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 no. It's a big red flag. Like it doesn't get picked up in the algorithm. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
it's kind of
and
fun.
it's weird that this one got picked up, and to me, it's like my least favorite video.
Yeah, because it was the stuff we are saying was really really bad. It wasn't.
I mean, it wasn't crazy bad.
It was
But
more like.
calling somebody a PDF file without saying PDF file 1,000 times, like, yeah, it's funny as fuck, but not to YouTube, you
Yeah,
know? Like not to YouTube. I grew up with Filthy Frank and like some of the edgiest YouTubers on the
yeah, like
platform, okay?
Leafy's here and
Like
all that.
yeah, like I grew up in a different time. Like there was a different YouTube era that I grew up in. Even before Leafy was here, like you could literally in the first 4 seconds of your video say fuck, say the most disgusting, obscene things, and it was like a joke, you know?
Yeah,
But the culture's completely changed, and like now I've made a like very conscious effort to take out all the cuss words until about 5 minutes in. So I think that has something to do with the algorithm too. Like I'm
yeah,
playing to YouTube's algorithm. Like if I wanted to make the content I wanted to make, all the shit that we were saying, that would have been the video. It would have just been a disgusting compilations of shit that we said because that was the first cut of the video, right? Like that's what
yeah.
I originally made, and it just didn't sit right with me. I just knew like it would get 2 views
And get
and
red
it
flagged. Yeah,
would
the
literally
YouTube
slap on
standards.
the roof of my YouTube. I'd get slapped down before I even started. So,
Okay,
I'm an edgy goblin.
yeah, edgy little goblin guy.
I'm an edgy goblin. I used to have a nose ring, believe it or not.
Yeah, you used to have a nose ring.
I used to have the fucking bull ring in my nose.
That
It's not even a cap or a lie. Like that's real
shit's
shit.
funny. So
Yeah, I used to be an emo, bro.
you used to
I'm
be an
telling you.
emo. You like black hair and shit.
Oh yeah, I had the jet black hair. My hair was not like this. I didn't have this haircut.
Oh
And I
my
had an
god.
emo girlfriend and life was different. Yeah, I was different, bro. I have a tattoo from that era and it's awful.
No way.
It's terrible. It's the only tattoo I have. It's the worst tattoo ever. Ever.
Was it like a shark with like an emo haircut or?
N- No, originally it was a cool tattoo I did. It says homies help homies and there was a heart, and then the bitch that did it fucked it up really bad. Just long story short. Long story short. You want to see it?
Yeah, okay, yeah. Let's
This
the
is a little
podcast
this
to
is a
see it.
This is literally gonna be a worm exclusive because I don't talk about this on my stream. I don't like showing this off. Like it's such an embarrassing thing. But I feel like this is your first episode. We got to do something kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Like this is an exclusive Goblin Dog fact. Like if you come into my stream and you ask me about it, I'm gonna deny it. Okay. Also, we're
Okay.
doing this video call on Skype because I don't have a Discord. So
This
don't
is Skype.
ask me if I have a Discord. Stop asking me. Yeah.
That shit is
So
bad.
fucked. Dude, it's like a high school desk on my body. Like that's what it feels like, you know? Like that shit is ripped straight from sophomore year.
That shit is horrible.
It's awful. No, it's bad. It's terrible. Like I could admit that. I'm not
Yeah.
one to be like, "Oh, this is a great tattoo. You want to see my cool tattoo?" Like I hide this in shame. Like when I go to the beach, I don't even want to take my shirt off, bro. Like,
Oh
are
my
you
God.
crazy? Like I have fat guy syndrome with this tattoo. That's how much I hate it. And
That
people
is
are like,
horrible.
either get it lasered removed or just like put a black square there. Like I don't know what I'm gonna do
A
with it.
black
Like
square.
yeah, like I love tattoos and I like there's a lot of like good like speaking of one of the biggest tattoo artists down here that I'm like in love with. I love their work. Followed me on Instagram recently and I almost shit my fucking pants.
No way.
He followed me on Instagram and I almost shit my pants. Like now I have to go get a tattoo. I'm gonna go to him and be like, "Can you fix me? Fix me, please."
Okay,
Holy shit.
what was your first what was your first game or type of content you stream or created?
Ooh, okay. Holy shit. The first anything I ever did was back in like 2012. So
Holy
12
shit.
years ago. Probably I got an Elgato. Like the Elgatos had just came out and I had got it for Christmas. So it was probably like early 2013, late 2012.
Yeah.
And I hooked it up to my Xbox and I streamed to Twitch and I had a bunch of like pedophiles come into my chat and like try to groom me.
That's crazy.
I had 5 viewers and this was like a different time. Like Twitch was completely different back then. And I
Yeah.
knew I wanted to make YouTube content. So I had this Elgato for a long time and I tried to make YouTube content, but I never had a computer good enough. Like my mom had a touch screen all-in-one computer. I don't know if you've ever seen these. Like I
I've
don't
seen
even
one.
think
I've seen one.
they this is like straight from 2012 though. Okay. So the thing was like this fucking thick. Okay. It was a goddamn brick. And like that is what I had, right? So my computer couldn't record gameplay. So I had an
Yeah.
Elgato and I couldn't use it for the longest time. For the longest time. But that is the first content I made. And then I made a video called Dirtboarding with my friends when we were all like 13 years old, 14 years old.
Yeah.
So it was freshman year of high school. So this is a long time ago. And we made a thing called Dirtboarding. It was like a Jackass type thing. Because again, like I said, I didn't always want to do like gaming content.
Gaming.
Like
Yeah,
I've
you
done a
wanted
lot
to
of
go
other
out.
shit. Like after I did Dirtboarding, like Jackass style, I made a channel called Cunt, CUNT. Like
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding. This was you could do this. This was allowed on YouTube at the time.
Yeah.
I had a channel called Cunt, and I would review things. Right, I had like a couple T-shirts I had made for it, and my mom found the T-shirts and was like, "Are you? What the fuck is this? Are you retarded? Like, what is going on?" And so that dream crashed and burned. And then I didn't make content for a long time, but it was always on my mind.
Yeah.
And I'd always bought like really nice PCs. So like eventually, like at the end of my high school career, I was able to save up enough and buy like a jacked PC. And then I started streaming under the name I don't even it was Bong Breaker Rank 1. And then
Bonebreaker rank 1.
I streamed under that name for about 6 months, and then everybody was like, "You got to change the name, like it's not helping." So I went to Groovy Flamingo, and then me and my emo ex broke up. It was me and my emo ex broke up, so
Yeah.
I changed my whole persona. I went back to what I was originally. I went back to this hippie kid. So I was Groovy Flamingo for a really long time. And then after Groovy Flamingo, I'm Goblin Dog now, and this one's probably the one that's gonna stay.
It's
Like
gonna
it's
stick.
I mean, it's the one that I've gotten the most traction on. It's the one that most people resonate with, like, and I feel like I resonate with the most as a human. Like, I just produce goblin energy. Like, if you ever see me out in the wild, you'll understand. Like, you'll come up and talk to me, and I'm like, "Yeah, man, like this. That's one of the reasons. Like, I know I can't do meth because like I would be the best tweaker of all time. I would be stealing motorcycles and robbing packages all across the states, and you would not be able to stop me.
Yeah.
It was just I'd be yeah, like I'm a crackhead just like
You're a
without drugs.
crackhead without drugs.
No, 100%. Like there's a reason I smoke pot, right? Like if I didn't smoke pot, like right now during this interview, I don't even think I'd be able to concentrate. I'd be sitting here like da 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 A B C D A B C D like some weird ass shit, you know?
Yeah.
I've been smoking pot since I was good question, Worm. Thanks for asking me that. You can put that in post. You can do so much with editing.
Yeah, this is gonna be a lovely.
um yeah, I started smoking when I was fuck man, when I turned 16 on my 16th birthday.
16? That's how old I am, dude.
Start smoking pot.
No, no.
No,
I think I'll lay off a little bit.
no, it's not for everybody.
It's not for, yeah.
Like I have a lot of friends who like don't smoke pot and like they only drink, and I
But
sip
that
on
would
the
also be
water.
horrible. Just drinking? I find drinking horrible. I'd rather smoke pot than drink.
Whoa.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
Controversial
I'm in the,
thought.
I'm in the same camp 100% with you. Like anytime I drink, I just don't want to do anything. Like
Yeah.
I drink, I'll sip my wine and I'll be like,
Yep.
nah, I can literally just sit here and watch YouTube and I'll be content. But then like I don't drink and I'm like, I just want to make content. I want to stay up till 4 o'clock in the morning and fucking make content and then go work an 8-hour shift and then come home and be like, why did I do that? I regret my life. You know?
Yeah.
It's my life. You know.
How do you handle negative feedback or trolls during your streams?
I that's all I get, to be honest with you. Like 98% of my shit is like negative feedback. And to me it's like the smallest majority is always the loudest. Like just
Yeah.
because like I like for instance on my TikTok, like I had a high schooler literally just call me corny, right?
Yeah.
Bro, you are in high school. Like, what do you mean corny? And like he's playing the drums, like he's living his best life. So I just liked the comment. Like to me, you can't let negative shit bother you, even though it stands out the most. Like you just have to realize like not everybody's gonna like your things, and most people are haters. Like I
Yeah.
hate on shit too. I just don't put comments on like videos. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I'm not like, I hate this fucking video and I hate you too.
yeah. Yeah, I'm just like, wow, that was a bad video, or like, oh, I didn't like the way that was done. But I've never like gone out of my way to like,
Type a whole
so
fucking comment at.
yeah. So to me, I don't understand it in a way
Yeah.
because I've never been that person on the internet to comment. So when I have negative feedback or like people talk shit to me, I just kind of like laugh it off. That's all you really can do. It's like water off a duck's back
Yeah.
because most of the time they're just jealous that they're not doing what you're doing. I
True.
feel like it comes from very much like a place of they're not happy with what's going on in their life. And that's okay. Like I've had those days too, but I don't
It's
take it out on other people.
on other random people on the internet.
So I just like let it go off my back. Like, oh, okay, well, I was just like that guy's punching bag for the day.
Yeah.
No, whatever. I have like so many people that support me, you know? And I always just try to think about it that way. Like all my friends watch my streams and all these different people that I've met all around the world, they're always like, "Oh yeah, like I like your stuff. I think you're funny. Keep doing what you're doing."
Yeah.
So I try to think about that. Like most of the comments I get are negative, but there's always the good ones. There's always people that are rooting for me. And as long as
I
there's
love
people
your
that are like
content and you should keep on streaming.
yeah, I mean, it's mostly like to be honest with you, it's a lot of like older African American dudes. And they're always like, bro, I fuck with your content, keep it up. I swear to God, I can go through all my messages and like
Yeah.
all my good comment, all my all my all my negative comments are like white crackers and like people that look like me, bro.
Yeah,
And then all my like greatest supporters are just like African American dudes,
yeah.
older gentlemen, like old heads, like
Like old
literally old
motherfuckers,
heads,
like
like
grandpas.
Kanye and shit, bro. They're literally like, "You got this, bro." Speaking of Kanye, he did drop today.
Dude, he did?
Vultures 2.
Fuck, I
Vultures.
gotta go watch
You
that.
didn't hear it?
No, I
Oh,
didn't listen to it yet. I gotta go listen to that.
I gotta listen to it a couple more times before I give my like honest, genuine
Yeah,
opinion.
honest
I've only
review
listened
it.
to it once through, and it's not fair of me to be like,
This
it
is
was
fire.
it was not the best. I mean, it was. I don't know, man. Like this one kind of slacked a little bit, but I like I said, this is not my final opinion. Okay,
Yeah,
I've only listened to it
yeah,
one time. Full
one
disclaimer.
time.
Before all my comments are negative hate comments. Before
The
everybody starts
Kanye
coming
fans.
after my throat. I know, bro. That's like the only percentage of people that I have that are like, keep
Yeah,
going.
they're all Kanye fans. What's your
But
inspiration?
like my greatest inspiration
Yes,
or like inspirations, like what
inspiration. Or you could do
my
inspirations,
my
you know?
biggest inspiration, man, it's hard to think, man, because this is so long ago. Like we're talking like 12 years ago. Or like who inspires me now?
Who inspires you whenever, like at all times?
I mean, the problem is like a lot of it changes through my life.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
originally, my greatest inspiration was Game Grumps, right?
Game Grumps?
Game Grumps. I was like a number one Game Grumps fan. I saw them when John was still on the show,
Yeah,
and so like I was super fan of Game Grumps, so I wanted to make content in that vein. Um, and so that like me starting out like in 2012, that was my greatest inspiration. Now like who's my greatest inspiration? I look at to like the Dungeons and Daddies podcast, which is like a bunch of like old head YouTubers. Like, do you know Freddie Wong? I'm like
no.
dating myself so badly right now, bro. Like people are like, "Who the fuck is this guy talking?" He's talking about boomers now. But back in my day, Freddie Wong was making the best. Like, if you were a nerd and you were watching like airsoft content on YouTube, you
Yeah,
knew who Freddie Wong was because he was making realistic like boom, boom, boom. He was out with airsoft guns pretending to shoot and just like adding effects to the guns and then just like having like silly like gamer related shit. And so like he's like a grandfather of YouTube. So if you go back and look at like Rocket Jump, like that's a channel he founded. And but
yeah,
now he's like moved on. Like the reason I look to Freddie Wong as inspiration now is because he started as like where I'm at right now. Like let's say like just a basic YouTuber trying to get his thing off the feet, and then he blew up, and then he was able to like make movies, and then from movies like he does podcasts now. Like he's
yeah.
always found a way to evolve his content through time to stay relevant, even though it might not be like relevant to like younger people.
Audiences? Yeah,
He has an audience, right? So like no matter what he does, he has like an audience that will follow him, which is something that kind of like inspires me because that's what I want to do, right? Like I don't want to do gaming content for the rest of
yeah.
my life. I would like to make this into something bigger. You know, I have a
Like a
fantasy
movie or something.
factory where like well yeah, like part of the reason I can even make YouTube videos is like my producer. I don't know if you had any questions about that, but
I have a few.
okay, we'll get into it then. We'll
Yeah.
get into it. I won't rush your podcast. I won't rush the questions.
Okay. Yeah, so my inspiration from like right now is how could I even like say this?
I'm sorry, I'm not reciprocating. Where my bad, my
Wow.
bad. Who are your greatest inspiration? Who are your greatest inspiration?
I'm thinking right now, it has to be
It's a tough question.
that
That
is
was a
a
good
tough
ass
question.
question.
Yeah.
That was a really good question. I have to like actually applaud you for that one. Like, oh, bro, my webcam has been tripping me out. I bought a new webcam. While
Yeah.
you're thinking, just as a little sidebar, just don't even listen to me. This is more for your audience. I bought a new webcam, right? and this fucking thing keeps freezing on me. And I've tried every fix in the book, can't figure it out, dude. Like, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Ah! Okay. That was my little rant.
Okay, so yeah, it has to be Vanos Gaming. I don't know. He always been, yeah. When I was a little kid,
Oh,
I was sitting
that's a
there with my
good
diapers on,
one.
and I saw his GTA videos, and I watched it because since I was really into GTA, and I was watching it. I was like, wow, I fucking love this guy. He has a group of friends that I love. And so the way he keeps on going, and now that he's not as big as he used to be, he's still doing the type of content that he did 10 years ago. But I don't want to be in that endless loop either.
Yeah. I think it's something some people get stuck in. And
Yeah,
it's not it's not a good loop to be in. I feel like you feel stuck, and it's not where I want to be at all. Like, I'd rather, my passion is like filmmaking, to be honest with you. Like, I wanted to go to school and be a filmmaker, and then I realized filmmaking school's a lot of money, and I'm not forking up that dojo when I can do it here. Like, when I
on
get more
YouTube.
information, fucking looking it up on the internet. Like, everything I do is self done other than the music,
Yeah.
in some of my videos, but we can get into that in a
If
second.
you could collaborate with any streamer or YouTuber, who would it be and why?
Pay Money Wubby.
Pay
That's
Money
like
Wubby
I think so, and the reason I say this is because I think his audience and my audience, like, would
would collide.
his audience would be like my perfect audience, like, in my world, like, just a bunch of people who are okay with me being like, oh, yeah, I'm autistic, and I think this is autistic, and that's retarded, and fuck that, and fuck this. Like, Pay Money Wubby is such just like, he does what he wants, and somehow Twitch still keeps him around. Like,
Yeah,
and I love that. I like the Twitch community loves him, and like he's managed to just stay around forever. And so, like, I guess in a way he's also an inspiration to me.
yeah.
Um, but more so I'd rather just like collaborate with him because I feel like our personalities would go well together. What about you, Worm? Who would you want to collaborate with? Who's your
I
dream
wouldn't.
collaboration?
I don't even know. It would have to be a big Rust YouTuber or just a big YouTuber in general.
I think
Maybe
that's
like
smart.
Blueprint or Spoon Kid. That's more like in the Rust genre though.
Now, Rust content. This is a question I have for you. Is Rust like the game that you want to make content for? Like,
It. I
what
told
drives you to make
myself
Rust content?
back in 2020, when I was still on my console, that I wanted to play Rust so bad, and so when it came back out in 2021 on Rust console, I played it so much that I devoted myself to become a big Rust streamer or a big Rust YouTuber.
Hmm.
Yeah, so there's VODs, well, there's recordings I have from 2 years ago that was supposed to be YouTube content, and it has been, I'm not uploading any of that content, but it has, the dream has still been there for me.
Okay, so that's like a dream is to make it big in Rust.
Yeah.
Do you find it viable? Have you found it easy? Is it?
Well, to be honest, Rust isn't that fun. It is kind of torture. If you're playing solo, especially
Hmm,
solo content is not the best. If you want to play it and get content off it because it is horrible.
right.
There's
Yeah.
roof campers, door campers. I cut you off. I'm sorry.
You're good. You're good. I was just thinking about how much I hate that game. Like, I've genuinely never had fun in that game unless I'm with my friends and I'm at Outpost. Like, I take that back. The only times I have had fun in Rust is playing with Wormdude. And this is genuine true facts coming from my mouth right now. And all my friends are going to try to debate this. This is wrong, false, fake news. The only times I had fun was in Rust, and specifically when we went to the Outpost and we ran the scam. I think that is one of the greatest bits we have ever
Yeah.
done, and I am so sad that like I wasn't recording or you weren't recording
Yeah.
because that would have made for one of the funniest videos in my head. And like I'm not even like a Rust YouTuber. Like it would have been the one time I post Rust content and it would have blown up, and I would have been like, I'm never playing that game again. So I like applaud you, but do you think about like maybe you should branch out? Maybe
Yeah.
Rust
Oh,
isn't like
I've been trying to branch out a little, but my audience just loves Rust. They're a bunch of Rust fiends. They're all a bunch of like 17 to fit like 12-year-olds that are like, do you like Rust or like are you homo? Like, dude, like I don't like my audience is fine, but I wish they'd how do I even say this without calling them out? I wish they
I
would.
mean, you can call them out. Fuck that. Like, if they
They're a
don't
bunch of
watch your other
babies.
content, they don't watch your other content. And that's like that's another problem like I'm having right now. Like, yeah, I have Elden Ring, and Elden Ring's a big game. It's gonna take me a minute to beat it, but like, what do I do
After
after Elden
Elden Ring.
Ring? Like, where are all those people gonna go? Like,
Yeah.
where are all those views gonna go? Am I gonna drop off? So it's definitely something that I'm trying to find my way with as well. Like, how do you bring variety to the table? Like, how do I transfer people with personality instead of like the game I'm playing?
Yeah.
Because when I did Groovy Flamingo, it's a flashback back to more streaming shit. When I did Groovy Flamingo, I was a
Yeah.
big like Stardew Valley streamer.
Yeah.
Like I played Stardew Valley, and the reason I played Stardew Valley is because that's a really small community, and a lot of those people are like really nice like people, and they just go and raid streams like smaller streamers.
Yeah.
So at one point, I had like 7 or 8 viewers that kept coming in, and like all they wanted to see was like Stardew Valley stuff. I don't want to sit there and play Stardew Valley. Like in my head, like if I'm gonna play Stardew Valley, I want to scratch my ass and not have a camera on me. Like it's such a peaceful, like
Game.
nonchalant game. Like how do you make content out of that? How do I fucking start tweaking and freaking on the game? You
Yeah.
know?
Yes. Speaking of Stardew Valley, I played Stardew Valley when it came out. It is a really good game, but I wouldn't see any way to make content on it because the game is really plain on that side, but the game's really fun. But on the
Yeah,
content side, there's nothing going on. You're sitting there, you're fishing, you're mining,
clicking, click,
clicking.
click,
Yeah.
like yeah. But I think that's part of it. Like maybe that's why people like Stardew streamers is because you have to bring your personality into it. But like I don't want to bring my personality into it. I want to get level 1000 mining. I need it. I won't feel complete until it's level 100. Tyler, it's the third day you're mining in a row and your crops are dying. I don't care. Mining level 100. Yes.
Who's your producer?
Oh, my producer. I wish she was here right now so I could like ask. My producer is my roommate, a good, very good friend of mine.
Yeah.
But I don't think he wants to be named. I think he wants to kind of be kept
You could do it
anonymous.
by his YouTube or whatever.
So his name is 42 Degrees. It's not me. A lot of people think 42 Degrees and me are the same person. Though we look very similar, cut from the same cloth, we are
Yeah.
not the same person. We are very much different people. Like he has been, as long as I've been making like YouTube content or trying to make YouTube content for 12 years, like he has been making music, right?
Yeah.
So when you're watching a Goblin Dog video, all of those music tracks are him. Like any music in the background you hear is all produced by him, all made by him. It's all tracks like he either hasn't released or he's made like specially for videos.
Yeah.
Um, and I find that to be like one of like the unique things to my content is that I have somebody by my side um, making it, and then like we have agreements in the works, like you make this much for when we start making money.
Yeah.
So it's a team effort. He also edits some of my videos from time to time. He edits like
No
my
way.
longer content. So like my Dead Space videos are edited by him. Like
Yeah.
I don't touch those at all. The only thing I do is make the thumbnails. So I mean I create a lot of the shit for the channel. Like any of the art you see is done by me, unless it's like my Twitch emotes, which is done by. This is like this is how you know I don't discriminate people like against people because my Twitch artist is an LGBT furry, and
Yeah.
he is one of the coolest people I've ever met on the planet. Right? Just because like he likes to go and do that stuff in his free time doesn't
Yeah.
mean I don't rock with that fool. Like,
Yeah.
and he makes good art. So like my my TikTok fucking symbol is the goblin
He's the goblin. Yeah.
that he drew. Um, So I've just like, I don't know. I found like in my life, I found been very lucky to find people
around your
with
space.
similar, yeah, like with similar interests, or like who have like are creative, and it's just been like really nice to be able to like help them out along the way. Like, hey, like here's a little kickback. Like I paid for those emotes,
Yeah,
and I didn't mind paying for it at all because that's a homie. Like that's somebody
it's
who's another creative who's trying to get off their feet, you know?
yeah,
The same thing with my producer. Like we're all just trying to get off of our feet. Like in my head, like when I say the Fantasy Factory, like in the Fantasy Factory, he has a producing studio, and like he's just making beats all
yeah.
day. And then he sends me some of the beats. He can have artists come in there and record whatever. I want to launch an empire, you know? I
Yeah.
want money. I want to
You want
make the
money.
big bucks. Not even to make money, but to make money doing things that
You
I
enjoy.
personally enjoy doing, you know? It's a win-win. Like if I can be creative every day and make content every day,
That would be fucking crazy.
that's ideal, bro. That's ideal. Like I beat life. I did the cheat code, you know?
Yeah. How do you see the future of your channel evolving?
I think it's gonna be a lot more of me doing like the green screen stuff. I really want to get more into like the green screen stuff. I want to be able to feel like I'm in the game. Like there's this new YouTuber that I just recently found. I you don't mind if I like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
hold up for a second and shout him out. Uh Hold on. His content is so good it genuinely makes me jealous. Bisley Channel. I don't know
Bisley
if you've
channel?
heard of this guy.
No.
Yeah, Bisley Channel. Um but he just randomly came up in my feed one day, and he does a lot of green screen work. And
Yeah.
not that I'm inspired, but not inspired. Like this is something I wanted to do for a long time. Like before I even saw these videos, like I wanted to do something in Elden Ring where I was like sitting down on a table, but I just couldn't get the shot right. So like Elden Ring episode 2, there's a lot of like content missing from that episode because I couldn't get certain shots right. I had one where I was laying down in like a meadow and everything was peaceful and the boss came up and slammed me, but I couldn't figure
Get
it
it.
out.
Yeah.
I couldn't get it right. So hopefully moving forward, I can learn from my past mistakes and actually use this green screen to its full effect. I want more green screen. I want more YouTube shorts. I'm probably going to do more horror content on the channel
Yeah.
just because it seems like that's a good way to get content. Not even to get big, but just me as a person. A lot of people think it's naturally funny when I get scared. They just say I have a
Yeah, it
good
is pretty good.
reaction. Or me, slamming a demon baby into a wall at high
Yeah.
velocity. Like that shit is just improvisation, which is another reason I like Dungeons and Dragons or like comedy in general. Like I'm a big comedy guy.
Yeah.
Like in my free time, I watch a lot of podcasts, and I like comedy. I like to be goofy. Everything I do is fun, but it's also like improv. Like it's off the dome. You gotta be quick with it. You gotta
Yeah,
have like a
you
witty
gotta go
mind.
crazy. You gotta go.
You gotta
Yeah.
you can't be as autistic as me, eh?
Yeah.
Man, we're getting content. We're milking
Getting
tonight.
content. Yeah, we're milking. We're milking content. How do you stay motivated when your channel growth is slow?
Uh, to be honest, like it does. I haven't had like a lot of slow times coming back recently.
Yeah.
I can speak to this like when I was starting out, like it definitely demotivated me. Like this isn't my first run at trying to make content in any way, shape, or form. Like I've been demotivated and I've stopped and I've completely killed channels before because I wasn't seeing the growth I wanted to see, or I wasn't growing, or I wasn't making the content to the like upper
Fullest.
echelon, yeah, to like what I thought was the best standard, right? I used to like really beat myself up over content, and like to the point where nothing would come out, and that's just super unhealthy. uh but to be honest with you, like so far, like I haven't seen any lulls. Like it's only gotten
Bigger.
crazier,
Yeah.
bigger. I think if you're having trouble with your content, you have to switch something up. You got to do something different. You got to come at it from a different angle. You got to bring something new to the table because like what you're bringing to the table isn't good enough. Like it isn't drawing people in. It might be like the best content ever. Like some of the best content I've ever seen, some of the best video essays, like let's even say like I'm big on video essays.
Yeah.
Like some of those video essays that I've watched only have like 400, 500 viewers when I'm getting to it. And it's just criminal because it's some of the most researched, well thought out content, but something there isn't grabbing people, you know?
It's either the
So
thumbnail or
right, right. There's something that you can do different. Right? You got to change it up. Like like my original Elden Ring videos were doing fine, and then I this new thumbnail that I put on, I noticed like it was getting traction. Like I changed it up slightly, and now like there's kind of a formula to it. Like okay, well if I use this thumbnail kind of background and I have my face in the middle center of the screen, it gets more clicks.
yeah,
I don't know what that is, but that's what it is.
maybe
You know,
like
it might
20
not.
pointing arrows, red arrows, and
Yeah, and it could also be maybe you're not using your tags to the fullest. Like there's a lot of things that YouTube gives you, but they're all behind the scenes, like really weirdly. Like when I was starting YouTube, like the tag section was a big thing when you were
yeah,
making your video. Now you have to like click behind show me more options to get to it. It's like
yeah. There's a
they
big
say
part of grind.
tags a lot of people say like tags don't do anything, but they absolutely
Yeah, they
100%
absolutely
do.
do.
I mean, it's like shorthand for your videos, not only your videos, but like your channel name. So like you can find me at goblin_dog. I hate that username, but I'm kind of stuck with it because I can't change it on Twitch, right?
Yeah,
So my YouTube tags are all goblin dog, goblin
goblin, goblin,
goblin
dog.
dog with dog, like just spelt a bunch of different ways,
Yeah,
and that's like 3/4 of my YouTube tags, and then the other ones are like a bunch of like Elden Ring,
Elden
Elden
Ring,
Souls.
funny.
I don't do funny. Like some of those are like just kind of like it's a good tag. Like there might be thousands of videos, but that's the problem. It's oversaturated. So you
Oh
have to
yeah,
kind of find these like almost niche ones. So like one that's worked for me with Elden Rings is Elden Souls. I don't
Elden
know.
Souls.
That tag gets a lot of traction. I don't know what it is. There's only like 30 videos in that category, and I think like 5 of them are mine, but a lot of my viewers that are not coming from, TikTok or
Instagram.
Instagram, they're coming from these tags. So it's just kind of interesting to see where analytics come from. Like I'm not getting pulled up in like YouTube recommended feeds. I'm
Yeah,
getting searched up through tags, through Elden Souls and Elden
through
Ring
Elden
type
Souls and
tags.
Elden Ring. Yeah,
Yeah, which is I don't know. There's something to it. I think there's a lot of different things that you can do, and like I, throwing something new at the wall, and if it doesn't stick, it shouldn't deter you either. So like I said, like after Elden Ring, I don't know where I'm gonna go with it, and
yeah,
so I'm gonna have to throw something new at the wall. It might get 0 views, but I'm gonna stick up with it for at least 2 or 3 more videos and really see like okay, is it the video, is it the game I'm playing,
yeah.
what's the reason, what's the reasoning, what's the algorithm?
The algorithm thing to me.
It's a game, you know it's kind of like gambling.
Yeah,
But like I said at the start of this podcast, like that video that I put out last has got the most traction, but in my eyes is
the
probably
worst video.
the worst Elden Ring video, I would say. Like definitely not the worst video. My worst video is the first one that I put out. That shit is so
The
trash.
Outlast Trials one.
Yeah, so bad. It's so goofy.
Do you do your own art, and how did you start doing art?
I do my own art. A lot of my art comes from drawing on high school desks. Uh, for real. I got into art at a young age. I've always been into like digital art. I didn't know how to do it. And so in high school, I took digital art class. I got certified in Adobe. I got certified in Adobe. And I've always liked doing art, but I've never been good at doing art. Like I've been probably drawing for 12 years as long as I've been making content, and like my drawings have never like really progressed or gotten better. They all kind of have this like edgy feel to them.
Yeah.
If you look at any of my stuff, it's like it looks like a high schooler did this, you know? It very much has that characteristic of like it feels like high school art, but like to maybe a little bit of a higher level.
Yeah.
But most of my art is just doodles. Like I doodle all the time, and that's how a lot of like my characters have come up. Like the Goblin. The Goblin is more of a persona. It's part of me, but it's not fully me. Like right now,
Yeah.
I'm just being me. I'm being Tyler Gervasi, but other people know me as like the
The
Goblin
Goblin. Yeah.
because if I go out and I'm having a good time, that's not Tyler anymore. That's the Goblin. That's fuck you like that. Like, which is why I only stream once a week because I like that's a lot of energy to put out for 3 hours straight. You
Yeah.
know, especially not drinking. Like sober Goblin is insane because I genuinely start getting mad and I genuinely start tweaking.
Yeah.
Like when I was like, do it in my last video, like that's me genuinely having a breakdown, and people are like, "You're being corny, you're clickbaiting." Like, no, no,
Just you freaking out.
that's my legit reaction in the moment. Like I'm hearing voices and they're telling me to say these things, and I have to do it, or it's
Yeah.
not good. It's not good,
It's not people expect the Goblin to come out, not Tyler Gervasi.
right? I mean, do you? I mean, you know, you are the worm. So do you say
Yeah.
you would like put on a persona in a way?
Well, I'd say I'd tweak out more and start like freaking out on stream more, but honestly, like I'm sitting here and like I'm not freaking out. I'm chilling and shit. Like I might go like on a walk to go Tim Hortons or something, you know?
Ooh. What's the Hortons order?
Okay, so I get a BLT or just like a coffee. Because the BLT when
Oh,
I go over there, it is perfection. It's the most best
okay.
sandwich I've ever had.
Okay. God damn, Worm. I wish you were American, bro. It hurts my heart to this moment that like when you're watching the Olympics, you're rooting for Canada and not the USA.
Okay, here's another important question. Do you see the hot dog as a sandwich or its own separate thing?
this is this is like an actual question you're asking me right now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do I consider it a sandwich or its own separate thing? I mean, we call it a hot dog, right? Like we have
Yeah.
it has its own name. But I can see the argument for sandwich, right? Because it's meat between bread with condiments on top.
Yeah.
I think personally it's its own thing. In my
Yeah.
head, when I think hot dog, I think of a hot dog, right?
I don't think of a
I don't
sandwich.
think I don't think of a sandwich. And I think that's where I'm going to leave that. That sounds like a divisive issue that people might really get angry at me for, like a
Well,
political statement.
for me, I see it as a hot dog because there's so much things. There's like chili dogs. There's so much thing that is branched off as a hot dog, and I don't see it as a sandwich anymore.
Ooh, that's a really good point, actually. I didn't even realize that there's other types of dogs.
Yeah.
There's Chicago dogs. There's chili dogs. There's Philly dogs. There's all these kind of dogs. And we don't consider those sandwiches because then you'd have to put those in the sandwich category. And I
Yeah.
think it gets kind of messy. I'm seeing where you're coming from. I think
It
that's a
does go a
valid
little
point.
crazy, a little wacky.
It goes a little wacky stupid, and we're just not having that today. We're not doing the wacky stupid.
What would you tell yourself when you started content, or anyone that's starting out as a content creator?
Don't give up. Don't ever give up. Uh, that's just to anybody. Like, if you want to make content and make what you want to make. And if it doesn't get the views, don't be upset by that. And don't be upset. Like, make content for making content.
Yeah.
And don't do it for financial reasons. Don't do it for this. Don't do it for that. Like, if you're
Don't do it for
truly a
money.
creative person and you want to make content, I think that's the best term that anybody's come up instead of being like, I'm a YouTuber, is that I'm a content creator.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you're doing more than just like editing a video and throwing it up on the internet. you're making thumbnails, you're doing descriptions. It's an art form, you know?
Yeah.
And it, don't give up and be creative and do what you want to do. And like don't listen to the haters. You know,
Yeah.
like just persevere. Like that's the best like advice I can give anybody in anything. That's just like good life advice. Like don't give
Give up.
up. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Like I like at the end of the day, I believe a lot of things happen for a reason. I won't go into like crazy like religious or spiritual beliefs, but
Yeah.
I believe like things happen for a reason. And if you're going through a tough time, like you're getting tested and you got to just see it out to the end because you're going to get rewarded and you'll never know what that reward might be, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that's my best advice. I mean, what do you got, Worm?
What do I got for advice? I'd say to my younger self or anyone starting out content is that put more effort into it. If you're sitting there and uploading just like shitty videos with no music or no nothing, it's still pretty good to my standards or your standards, but people don't like clicking on that at all. It's horrible. And I'm not saying your content is horrible, but I'm saying you gotta put some more effort to it. You can't just put like 10 minutes into it and then upload it. People won't click on that.
Yeah, a hundred
Yeah.
percent. No, 100%. If it's kind of like cooking, right? If you don't put your love into what you're making, it's not going to taste good. It
Yeah.
can be the most high quality ingredients, but if you're not putting passion and like, like like love, like it's an energy. If you're not
Yeah.
putting your like full creative energy into it, you're not going to get anything out of it. So I think that's a really good advice as well. Like effort goes a long way, even if it is a little bit. I would say my videos are like medium effort on my part. And the problem is like if I go full effort, I'll never post a video. It wouldn't happen. Like I have to keep myself on a time schedule.
Yeah.
So post I mean, it's so hard to say like content creation in general cuz people make so many different things, but like as a YouTuber in general, like stay consistent, make a schedule and don't give up. Put effort into it and don't give up.
Yeah.
If you you got to believe in yourself. You got to believe. I believe like and I think I'm kind of like an example of that. I believe full well that this is going to go somewhere and I'm kind of just faking it till I make it until
Yeah.
eventually like one day I wake up and I have you know 100 subscribers, 100,000 subscribers even, you know. I
Yeah.
that's kind of what I'm doing. Fake it till you make it,
Fake
baby.
it till
But
you
you got
make
to put
it.
some effort into it. It is a
A
lot of
little bit of
effort.
effort.
And I, I think that's a good point, Worm, that you bring up because it is in my head, it doesn't feel like effort. You know what I mean? I enjoy the whole entire process of content creation. I enjoy getting the video. I enjoy editing it and watching it 1,000 times. I know a lot of people don't want to hear their voice over
Yeah.
and over 1,000 times. Me especially. Like eventually, I do get sick of it, which is another reason I say do it in like 3-hour sessions. But like, I lost my train of thought. I was going crazy for a second, then I lost my train of
Yeah,
thought.
you're going crazy.
uh, I
Okay.
just think, oh,
So
oh, we're good.
no,
We're
no, no, no,
good.
no, continue, continue, continue,
Roll
continue,
the
continue.
train. I already lost that train of thought. Now I'm fucking
Okay,
zooming.
so let's talk about other content creators in your area. Oh, give me 1 second.
This is a brief stint, a brief pause. I hope everybody's doing well tonight. Thank you for joining it's the Underground podcast. I think that's what you called it. That is such a good name for it. Whoever gave you that name or
The
came
In
up
the
with that.
Ground podcast.
In the ground. Ooh, it's not the
Yeah.
underground.
No, it's not the underground.
It's
I
in the
was
ground.
thinking, yeah, I tried to do the underground podcast, and there's already a guy I didn't want to get fucking, you know,
Okay.
yeah, no, you copied my thing, fuck you guys.
I think it's smart to do a podcast. I think branching out is a
Yeah,
great idea.
and now,
Oh, I forgot we're on camera. My bad. Sorry, I was trying to be real for a second, guys. Back to the content.
okay, so as you see these other people growing and streaming around you, how do you feel about your point in your little tight little corner in the internet?
My tight little corner, like, how do I feel about it? Or
Yeah, how do you like as you see T-Dub's new video? She kind of
oh
blew up on
yeah.
that one.
No, okay, yeah, that's what I thought you were bringing up was T-Dub's new video, but I didn't wanna, like, explicitly be like,
Yeah.
"Are you talking about T-Dubs?" But yeah, when I watched that video, it had, like, 400 views, and I watched it and I was like, "This is gonna blow up." Like, this is,
Yeah.
like, old school internet content that you
That's
really
what she
don't
said to me.
see anymore. You really don't see stuff like that anymore, and it kinda brought me back, and I was like, "That is epic. Like, that is really good. That's gonna blow up." And I
Yeah.
did not expect it to blow up to the degree it did. I was kind of like taken back and I was like, no, good for her. She 100% deserves that because that
Yeah.
video was a banger.
It was a
That video
banger.
was
I
a
am gonna
banger.
say
Like,
it. Yeah.
I, I'm going to say it. That video was a banger. Like,
It brought me back to like 2017 era where people were like putting the COD commentaries on and talking about stuff.
even further back, like that
Yeah.
reminded me of
All the
older
way
school
back.
content. That
Yeah.
reminded me of like even before Merc Music and She Knives and them. Like, it reminded me of way before then. And it was genuinely
Yeah.
so
Like
good. Like,
early
I
phase
grew up
Jeff.
on like White Boy 7th Street. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm like throwing out old YouTubers like it's nothing, expecting you to know them. Here's the thing, Worm. We're in like a different generation. There's a
Yes. No,
generational
I'm
gap. I
baby and
wanted to
you're
bring
big.
this up. Yeah, I know. I hate to say that. There was a time when I thought when I was you, okay, but it's what do you feel about your audience? Like, what does it feel like to know that you're like kind of this younger kid and you're trying to appeal to like a mass audience? Like,
Yeah.
what is your audience?
Well, it's a bunch of like there's a lot of mature people in my audience, but some of them are a bunch of like baby sung the fucking thumb sucking toddlers.
Yeah.
And they're
Yeah.
like, "How do you feel about Skibbity Ohio God?" And it's like, dude, what am I supposed to say about that?
Yeah, so do you find that you like attract more like younger people?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
I
no.
know
I feel like I have attracted way more younger people in the audience than older people because when older people see me, they're like, "Oh, what the fuck is this little sport doing? He's he's
yeah,
making retarded jokes on Rust." Like, yeah,
100%. No, I I kind of wanted to spin off on this. Like, my brother is the same age as you, and like my brother has always found me funnier and like more entertaining than my
yeah,
peers. So I know that my audience is a bunch of like kids your guys' age, like younger, like 16,
yeah.
17, 18, like a bunch of like younger kids that you guys find my humor more funny than like people my
Oh,
age
yeah. It's
find my
definitely way
humor
more
more
funnier.
funny. And it's just kind of interesting to me because I think I thought in my head that I would appeal to like an older audience, but like the
They're
only
like,
like older
taxes work.
audience I have is like 50 plus, and they're like older black dudes, and
Yeah,
they're just like chilling watching Elden Ring videos for some reason, and they just like watch
that's
like
chill as
uh,
hell.
yeah, like I never expected that my like target audience is people your range,
Yeah,
and I, I'm grateful for it, but it's also like this kind of weird position where it's like, do I say edgier things or do I keep it where I'm at?
yeah.
Like,
You're also inspiration to multiple people. Like younger audiences, they find people like you. They look up to you. They do what you do, and
right.
yeah.
Yeah,
So you
it's a
kind of got to
very
keep those actions
yeah,
to to a minimum.
it's a very strange dynamic for me, especially where like you say like people look up to you is weird because like now I'm put in the older brother situation. Like in
Yeah,
YouTube terms, I'm kind of like old.
yeah,
I'm kind of old, but like all my favorite YouTubers are really old. Like if I told you how much older my favorite YouTubers were, they're like 30, 40. Like they're boomers. Like they're
yeah,
old now. And it's kind of weird to be like, well, now I'm the brother. Like I'm supposed to be like leading you guys into this. It gives me a little bit of anxiety, but it
yeah.
gives me a lot of like hope at the same time that like, okay, I'm hip with the kids, even though I don't know what the fuck Skibbity Toilet is and what Riz is. And
Yeah.
you guys come up with new terms every fucking day, but like you guys find me funny somehow. I don't keep in touch with any of that.
Okay, well, guys, it is hitting the 1 hour mark, so I think we end it
Did you
here.
Did you have like? Do you want to do flash questions? Did you have more questions?
No, that's all the questions I wrote.
Damn, that was
Yeah,
a good one.
1 hour. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Give yourself a round of applause, Worm. No, seriously, bro. That was awesome. That was epic. I think you did a great job. You had some really good questions there. You took me back. And I
Yeah,
think that you putting effort into your content is like showing. It's going a long way.
yeah.
I remember there was a time when you invited me to a Rust server and you said, "All right, be funny." I said, "You don't have a script?" You said, "No, just be funny." We don't have any like there's no like production behind any of this
No.
like
I
no.
think I remember that. I think it was like, yeah, just be funny.
Yeah. You were like, "Yeah, this is like the goblin funeral video." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? I'm just not making content right now." They're like, "No, you're dead. Say something funny." I was like, "Do you have a script for any of this video?" And then you were like, "Watch the video. It's really funny." And you just like flew away in the video. Like, but like the fact that you wrote down these banger questions shows me like if you put a little more production, a little more
A little bit more
brain power,
thought, but yeah.
you would start making bangers, bro. But by the way, you have more subscribers than me. This is like weird for me to be on your bus. So like, people look up to me, but like, Worm, you're bigger than me. He's bigger than me. All right.
Okay.
The
Yeah,
outro one?
walk away. Yeah, do the outro.
You want me to walk away and come back and be like, "Alrighty, guys, I gotta get on to streaming. The Worm has got to edit the podcast and do some streaming as well. It
Yeah.
was an honor to be in the ground with the Worm. Thank you for letting me be your first guest. Thank you for letting me, run the show with you today.
Yeah.
I can't wait to be back when you have more of a structure and uh, and the production is better. Maybe you have a face cam. Oh my god, it'll go
Oh my god, it did
crazy.
go crazy.
But thank you for having me. It's kind of weird showing Tyler Gervasi and not the Goblin right now.
Yeah.
And, Tyler writes the videos, the Goblin performs them. I'm very much like nervous little clamshell right now.
Incredible Hulk. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Bruce Banner.
Did you have an official outro, Worm, or are we?
Well, yeah. Let me let me run it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. Go follow Tyler Gervasi or Goblin Dog at his Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch.
Hey.
And hope you guys enjoyed this episode, the first episode of the In the Ground podcast. And I'd love to see you guys join back for next week. We might have a special guest. Okay,
This is a
bye
weekly
everyone.
thing.
This is a weekly thing. This is a weekly thing.
Next week, bitches, I won't be here, but somebody else will. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, bye bye.